Imagine waking up to a blinding flash of light. The sky splits, a shockwave barrels toward your city. In seconds, skyscrapers topple and chaos reigns. No, this isn't the trailer for a dystopian movie. It's a scenario experts say is terrifyingly possible. In this episode of our survival series, we dive deep into humanity's worst nightmare: nuclear warfare and urban collapse. This is your guide to surviving the unthinkable. By the end of this video, you'll know how to act in the first 30 seconds, how to shield yourself from deadly radiation, and even how to crawl out alive from a mountain of debris. We've consulted nuclear safety protocols, survival experts, and real disaster data to bring you a plan that just might save your life. Stay with us, not just for your curiosity, but potentially for your future. Because when everything around you is falling apart, what you know might be your last lifeline. Click subscribe to join Infinity and stay ahead of catastrophe. Let's dive in. When a nuclear bomb detonates, it creates a thermal flash hotter than the surface of the sun. The first few milliseconds unleash pure white light that can blind people up to 20 kilometers away. If you're within line of sight, your survival depends on milliseconds. Drop, don't look, cover your eyes. Immediately after comes the blast wave, a pressure wall moving faster than sound. Buildings shatter like paper models. Glass flies at lethal speeds. You have 3 to 10 seconds to act if you're outside the core zone. Contrary to Hollywood, not everyone in a city dies instantly. Survivability depends on distance, shelter, and knowledge. If you're indoors, stay low, move away from windows, and brace against interior walls. The Quora discussion on tall buildings suggests that higher floors might experience less direct debris impact, but they also suffer more intense shaking and structural failure. Height isn't safety. Your first decision point is, are you in the blast radius? If you see a mushroom cloud on the horizon, count. If the shockwave hasn't hit after 10 seconds, you're likely outside the instant death zone. But danger is far from over. If you're in a vehicle, get out. Cars offer zero protection. Sprint to the nearest solid structure. Look for basements, subways, or underground parking garages. Avoid flammable areas, gas stations, warehouses, or electrical substations. Fires often follow the initial detonation. If you're above ground, drop behind anything solid. Concrete walls, large boulders, even heavy dumpsters. The blast wave is directional, so creating a barrier saves lives. And remember, don't run toward windows to check what happened. That's how people go blind, or worse. After the blast, radiation becomes your next enemy. Fallout begins within 10-20 minutes after detonation and can rain down like ash, coating everything. It's made up of radioactive particles from the bomb and vaporized debris. The International Commission on Radiological Protection emphasizes that the first 24 hours are the most dangerous. That's when radiation levels are highest, and when your decisions matter most. You need to shelter in place. The best option? Deep, dense structures. Underground bunkers, interior rooms, or tunnels. The thicker the walls and the deeper the shelter, the better. Never assume your home is safe. Most houses are built for weather, not war. If your home has a basement, go there. If not, improvise with what you have. Books, water containers, furniture. Stack them against walls to absorb radiation. Time, distance, and shielding are your triad of survival. Stay inside for at least 48-72 hours. The radiation drops significantly after that. Stay tuned to emergency broadcasts on a hand crank or battery-powered radio. The internet may be down, but government frequencies will broadcast life-saving updates. Don't eat exposed food. Fallout settles on everything: fruits, veggies, open containers. Rinse what you can. Canned food is gold. Decontaminate immediately if you were outside during the blast. Strip clothes, wash with soap and water, don't scrub. Scrubbing pushes particles deeper into the skin. IKNW reports show that even a limited nuclear exchange would produce long-term cancers and environmental devastation. The key to survival isn't just living through day one, it's protecting yourself from the silent killer that lingers for years. You survived the blast, but now you're buried under concrete, twisted rebar, and darkness. This isn't science fiction. It's what happened to countless victims in Beirut, Haiti, and Turkey. Panic is the enemy. First, check yourself for bleeding. Apply pressure if needed. Conserve energy. Screaming wastes oxygen. Locate breathable air. If you can feel airflow or hear dripping water, move slowly toward it. No sudden movements. Shifting rubble can crush you. Tap, don't shout. 3 taps every few minutes is the universal signal for rescuers. Whistles or coins on pipes can carry far in debris. Dust inhalation is deadly. If you have clothing, wrap it around your mouth. If you're bleeding, prioritize breathing over movement. Find a stable pocket. Curl into the fetal position to protect vital organs and reduce your profile. Use your phone sparingly. 1 text with your GPS coordinates is better than 10 failed calls. Battery life, equal sign lifeline. Stay calm. Rescues can take hours or days. The average survival time under rubble is 72 hours. But some have lasted over a week. If you're lucky enough to dig out, beware rebar, exposed wires, and secondary collapses. Don't run out blindly. Reorient yourself before moving. Your mind is your strongest tool. Stay mentally active. Count. Recall memories. Plan. Hope is not wishful thinking, it's survival strategy. Emerging from shelter isn't a victory march, it's a calculated risk. Wait for official all-clear signals. Fallout dust remains lethal for up to 2 weeks in hotspot zones. The landscape will be unrecognizable. Infrastructure, gone. Water, contaminated. Air, still dangerous. This is where your emergency prep pays off. Filter all water. Boiling doesn't remove radiation. Use purification tablets or a radiation-rated filter like the ones used by military or humanitarian responders. Don't trust silence. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's safe. Use Geiger counters or radiation apps, if phones work, to test areas. Avoid downed power lines, dead animals, and stagnant water. Each could be a death trap. Establish contact with other survivors, community equal sign security. Shared resources, medical help, and psychological support matter more than ever now. Avoid looting. It's tempting, but unregulated items could be irradiated. Stick to sealed food, medical supplies, and clean water. Track time. The first 7 days are about staying alive. After that, begin searching for safe zones or evacuation points. Document your experience, not just for history, but for learning. Future survivors may depend on what you record. Prepare to adapt. This isn't about getting back to normal. It's about building a new version of normal. And that begins with you. Trauma isn't just about what you see, it's about what you carry inside. Surviving a nuclear event leaves deep scars even if your body remains intact. PTSD, anxiety, and survivor's guilt are common. Knowing this helps you prepare. Mental health equals sign physical health in the long run. Routine helps. Create daily tasks, even simple ones. Organize supplies, check radiation levels, talk to others. Sleep is medicine. Even short naps restore brain function. Sleep in shifts if you're in a group. Guard duty helps all rest. Don't isolate. Talk to someone, anyone. Connection is the antidote to despair. Stay informed, not obsessed. Don't recheck news or rumors constantly. Designate a time each day to listen to updates. Practice gratitude, even for survival. Each breath is a win. Each small task you complete is progress. Journal. If there's paper, write. If not, record voice notes. Externalizing thoughts is like mental first aid. If help arrives, accept it. You're not weak for needing others, you're wise. And if you're helping others, be the calm in the storm. Leadership starts with presence, not perfection. Every person who survives a nuclear disaster carries more than trauma. They carry the burden of knowledge. The knowledge that survival is just the beginning of a much longer, harder journey. You step into a world forever changed. Shadows of buildings stand like tombstones. The silence is heavy, not peaceful, but void. And yet, you move forward. You are now both survivor and witness. Your first priority? Secure the basics. Water, shelter, medical supplies. But equally critical is your mindset. Surviving a nuclear disaster isn't just physical, it's deeply psychological. The infrastructure is gone. Hospitals, grocery stores, police, the internet, offline. You must rely on your training, your instincts, and those around you. New social contracts emerge. You'll need to form small groups or networks for mutual survival. Barter replaces money. Trust becomes currency. Radiation hotspots remain. Areas that look untouched may be lethal. Knowledge of geography and weather patterns helps. Fallout tends to drift downwind. Survivors must track time. Radiation decays. The first 72 hours are most dangerous. The 7-10 day mark is crucial. After that, movement is safer. Record everything. What you eat, where you travel, what you observe. Patterns matter. Radiation sickness symptoms, animal behavior, even the sky's color. Medical care is improvised. Antibiotics, painkillers, iodine, hoarded gold. Herbal knowledge from pre-modern times suddenly matters again. There's a chance of secondary attacks, conventional or cyber. Always be on alert. Expect nothing. Prepare for everything. Wild rumors will spread. Another bomb is coming. The water's poisoned. Maintain a cool head. Verify through multiple sources if any still work. Mental breakdowns are common. Create routine. Have roles. Even assigning someone to prepare coffee with powdered mix helps bring sanity. Sleep in shifts. Assign night watchers. One alert mind can save 10 sleeping ones. Grief will hit. Some sooner, some later. Make space for mourning, but don't let it take over the mission. Stay alive. Humor can save lives. A shared joke, even a dark one, reminds us we're human. It builds camaraderie. Children need special care. Explain things simply. Keep them engaged in basic tasks. Sorting supplies, counting bottles, pets. Treat them as part of the survival unit. They're loyal, alert, and in many ways more emotionally attuned than we are. Don't neglect spiritual needs. Prayer, meditation, journaling, anything that centers you, use it. Time blurs, days blend. Create rituals to mark time. Sunrise check-ins, nightly recaps, even improvise calendars. Monitor for radiation sickness, nausea, burns, fatigue, act fast, move to cleaner zones and hydrate. As time passes, your role shifts from survivor to leader. You'll train others, pass on wisdom, build new systems, rebuild in steps. First survive, then sustain, then improve. Start with basic sanitation, then grow food, purify water. Knowledge is your best gear. Know how to start fires, purify water, build shelter, treat wounds, expect conflict. Resources are limited. Your diplomacy skills are as vital as your fire-starting ones. Document everything. Even graffiti on walls becomes the new Wikipedia. Reconnect when you can. Ham radios, satellite bursts, handwritten letters. Every connection matters. Help when you're able, but never at the expense of your own team's survival. And always remember, you didn't just survive a nuclear bomb. You survived the end of the world as we knew it. You are the beginning of what comes next. Once the dust settles, a new question emerges. What kind of world do we rebuild? Survivors become stewards. Everything you do from here on contributes to either a future or another downfall. Education must return. Even informal, verbal passing of knowledge keeps civilization alive. Children, if they survived, are the seeds of the next era. They need both structure and hope. Language evolves, new slang, new terms for disaster. Survival becomes a culture, not just a phase. You begin to map safe zones, rivers that weren't contaminated, buildings still standing, places with solar panels. You'll need to relearn forgotten skills, farming, animal tracking, repairing wind-up tech. Communities form into settlements. Rules develop. Leadership arises, sometimes democratically, sometimes by force. Security is key. Rotating patrols, protected perimeters, agreements between groups. Soon, barter becomes economy. Salt, batteries, antibiotics, sewing needles, items you never thought of as wealth. Radio networks re-emerge, whispered voices from distant cities calling out confirming we're still here. You feel the first emotion in weeks not rooted in fear, but in possibility. Gardens sprout. Water filters become communal. Children laugh again. Someone finds a guitar, music returns, and with it, humanity. Faith is reborn. Not necessarily religious, but a belief that tomorrow can be better. Art appears on walls, painted murals, signs of hope, messages for others. We survived, join us. You write your story, not just to remember but to instruct. A traveler arrives, with news, another city, survivors there, progress. You realize, you're no longer reacting to catastrophe, you're shaping recovery. This chapter is slower, gentler, but no less essential. It's where you reclaim what it means to be human. You were forged in chaos, but now you build in peace, and that is survival, elevated. Let's be clear, the bomb hasn't dropped, yet, but the clock is ticking. The doomsday clock is metaphorical, but nuclear tensions aren't. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about readiness. What you choose to learn, to prepare, to teach, might decide if you live or become a cautionary tale. Knowledge isn't power, it's survival. Pack a go bag, not next year, not next month. Now water, food, radio, iodine tablets, flashlight, first aid. Know your local fallout shelters. If your city doesn't have one, demand it. Talk to your family. Have a plan. Don't make it dramatic, make it smart. Train your mind. Practice calm decision-making. Panic kills faster than radiation. Share this video, not to get views, but to get people thinking. The more who are ready, the more who live. Subscribe to Infinity. This is the channel that dares to dig deeper, prepare harder, and teach smarter. Comment your thoughts, questions, ideas. Let's build a thinking community, not just a viewer base. This is the moment, before anything happens. While there's still time, you've already survived the video, that's step 1. Now act, that's step 2. Be the one who's ready when others freeze, because survival isn't an accident, it's a choice. And at Infinity we choose to be ready. With you.